Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Arturia's new Chorus Dimension D, part of the 3 new modulation effects just released, which we'll be doing a video on each one of those. We'll start with the Dimension D. This thing is absolutely classic. It was on everything back in the day. Arturia have added some extra bits and pieces here, dimension advanced controls. But basically when you bought the original rack mount unit, that's it. That's all you got. And there have been pedal variations of that since then. So there was nothing to do. You just press buttons. And I kid you not, this thing was on everything in the 80s. Keyboards in particular, because it just made them sound massive in a mix. But it's such a subtle effect, you know. It's not like your main choruses sort of thing. I'm going to turn this power off now. We're going to run this with ARP 2600 in a sec, but I'm going to start with the CP80 because it was pretty much on every single CP80 in the 80s. And this is the dead standard basic, no effects on it or nothing. CP80 sample, the old one. From Reason, and once we engage this you'll get, this was a classic sound, the classic sound of electric grands in the 80s. So I'm going to power this back on now and you'll see that we're just on preset 1. It's on bass enhancer actually, so yeah, but there are only a few presets. We could go to default. I'm going to go preset 1, switch the power off. Here's the clean sound again, dry. Put headphones on. If we go Genesis-y style, Tony Banks, I'm pretty sure, used Dimension Ds. Number 4 kind of doubles up on everything, so you have kind of this 0, which, although it takes all the choruses delays out, it still allows the signal to pass through the bucket brigade delay setup inside the unit. So you won't really hear it, but you'll still pass it through an analog signal chain basically. So you can bypass completely by turning the power off. So you won't hear a great deal of difference with 0, but trust me, it's passing it through the signal chain. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, there's subtle variations of each other. But if we add 1 and 4, 4 kind of doubles up. You have stereo width control here. And a mix level, dry and wet. So if we play some Genesis-y style chords, but the D was on everything. It was on absolutely everything. Okay, so the special controls. The low fat sat 1s and low fat sat 2s, low frequency. We'll add some warmth. And this, once it goes past stereo here in the center, this kind of even pushes the stereo width even further. So it's like boosted. And then you've got some extra modulation shapes for the oscillators. This rock random. And then a smoothing of the randomization. We can take this down to smooth, reduce that a little bit, but bump it up in the mix. Okay, so let's move on to let's close that down a sec. Let's move on to the 2600. So if I'll just select that there for my MIDI, and I'm going to open up the Dimension D associated with that. I'm going to bypass it. This was over everything in the 80s. The keyboards loved Dimension D. So if we put the power in now, it spreads the sound. It's a lovely effect. Let's put that onto smooth. Let's boost the low frequency saturation. Let's pick another patch maybe. You'll probably hear it quite good on this. Let's bypass it. So you're not like, it's not super in your face, but you think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, this kind of feel is all over tons of albums. Tell you what, they used to say in the 80s when they were using the Dimension D that it was great. He said, if you're multi-stacking keyboards, you can't do it properly without a Dimension D. It just didn't, it always sounded better when they put that in. It gave kind of a cool separation between your synth patches and sounds, you know. So if we look at some, like, we're in pads at the moment, we could go to say, brass. Let's look what we've got kind of going on here. Beach brass. I'll just unconnect that. So Watson's barking away. Perfect example of what they'd use a Dimension D for on back in the day. Right, so you've got this kind of super 80s pad, brassy pad. Keep that open from stop closing. So we'll put the Dimension D back in. Even on lead sounds, you know, if you pick, say, a lead sound, let's see, leads. But oh well, let's try that. I don't want to do that because it's too sorry again. Let's go maximum madness again. Bypass. Absolutely loved the Dimension D in the 80s. Arturia's Chorus Dimension D, marvelous. You also get, of course, a few presets that you can mess around with. So see how it makes it super thick and wide. You can hear the difference. You can also choose to have it a stereo. Mono or stereo. Okay, guys. Brilliant. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a Patreon from as little as $1 a month. Chorus Dimension D. We'll be doing the other two as well, as a flanger and a phaser, based on absolute classic hardware. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys later. Ta-da! Featuring the Arturia ARP 2600V as well.